Hi everyone, welcome back into Primetime TV. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is my partner, not in crime though, Dennis Kelly. Hey, we're back again.
Thanks for asking me back.
I know, I'm really excited about our show today. This year has gone by so fast, would you agree? We're already in November, and it still feels like summer down here in Florida. But before you know it, we're going to have a new year, right? So we decided to do kind of like a little sneak peek and a soft launch on a few things that we really want to update you with. It's like what we call news you can use, brand new news you can use. We've never done this show before, but it's part of our ageless living, it's part of our lifestyle, and that is to educate our viewers on different things. Like, if you've been with us before, you know how we talk about stress and how it actually does cause, with all the cortisol that drips into our veins, it's like poison, isn't it?
Like poison dripping in our body.
Yeah, and that cortisol is really dangerous because, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard my husband say it in his seminars, his workshops, and even here, that, what is it?
It's known as the death hormone, cortisol.
Yes.
And we need it in our body, some of it. But we don't need the amount of cortisol that everybody, the average person, gets daily, because there's too much going on and too much cortisol. And then the factor is the body stops producing it eventually. Then you're in real trouble, because you need a little bit of it for, I call it the jazz of life, to feel up.
The jazz of life, I love that. On that note, we have talked time and time again, it's in your book, it's in our notes. I shamelessly talk about this on Facebook because we want to help you, as we've helped ourselves, with how to deal with those ravaging effects of stress that can cause dis-ease and, in many cases, premature death. So it's so critical for us to be able to learn how to control the stress. And if you don't have a clue, tune into our shows, because we're here every Monday with Prime Time. We have different special editions, current updates for you on what's happening out there in the anti-aging world, even though we're not making any claims to cure any diseases or anything like that. But one thing we can promise you, any information we bring to you is backed by science, medical documentation, and or the usage that we would partake in, whether it be products or a system like my husband's system, which is Trinurogenics, using the mind, body, spirit. And I know I'm tossing a lot out at you, but it's all in his books, his 6 Steps to the Fountain of Youth. But the one thing that I found just recently, as we launch this sort of special edition talking about the new you age, let that sink in for just a little bit. I kind of like the sounds of that, right?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, because we have the new year coming up, and we're going to be talking about stress, and in the first segment and second segment, and then in the last half hour, we're going to be giving you some additional solutions that we've just discovered that we've been doing a lot of research on and we're very happy about. But I want to say this. Did you know that stress has been dubbed the health epidemic of the 21st century by World Health Organization? That is powerful. An epidemic of stress, right?
Absolutely. You can't name it anything else better than that.
Exactly, exactly.
Unfortunately.
And you are the stress master. You have taught us to really master the stress. We've talked to you guys about deep breathing, Qigong, Tai Chi, and I'm going to turn this over to you because I know I talk a lot because I'm very excited about what we're talking about. It's to help all of us in this crazy world of volatile times, right? But when we give you this information like the Tai Chi, there's a book out from the Harvard University, right? Harvard University, and they talk about all the different stress things, stress hormones, and how Tai Chi can help. So you'll want to look that up. But I'm going to turn this over to you because you really are the stress master. Being a 6-time world martial arts champion, I watched you every time since we've been together, I think except for your first 2 championships. But all of the ones after that, I watched how you really centered and went to that happy place, that relaxation place, because you know and knew at that time you had to be your very best, most optimal self, right?
Right. It's all in a perception. The best that I could say to put stress in a nutshell is when life's perceptions of events do not meet up with our expectations and we manage to fail the results. That's where stress comes in. In other words, when we don't manage the perception of life, when things don't go the way we want them to go, the challenge is most people, they get rebellious. Then you put in the stress hormones along with the adrenal hormones, and as we say, what you think about, you bring about.
Exactly.
And what happens is the body then eventually runs out of the stress hormones. And then you have a lot of serious challenges coming up with sicknesses, disease, lack of enthusiasm, lack of energy, just because of that factor.
And that is really a big factor, too, because I know you did so much research before you wrote your book, and that was back in 1996, and guess what? It still applies today, the 6 steps. It's all getting back to basics.
Right. The Orientals call it the ultimate human, Wu Wei. That's the terminology. In other words, where you can feel at ease in any situation. There are several kinds of stress.
Sure.
There's acute stress and chronic stress. Acute stress is the normal stresses you get in everyday life.
Like what? Give us like a normal stress, like when your alarm clock goes up.
Well,
and
that could be one, or a normal stress is basically the food maybe got cold when you let it out too long and you're eating cold food. In other words, those little stresses.
Right.
However, of course, enough of those mount up, but the average person that is really into stress would be able to defeat that from happening, being a negative. Then there's the chronic, like I said, the acute stress is the stresses that we face every day. But then there's the chronic stress. That is the stress, that the buildup of other stresses, that is the one that really does us in. The acute stress, or I should say the chronic stress.
So the acute stress actually kind of graduates to the chronic stress if we don't get that, we find that sweet spot in between, right? Between acute and chronic.
Right, and the best stress is called the I stress, the U stress. The U stress is the thrill of winning, thrill of competing, thrill of this, thrill of that, doing something that makes you feel good. Because as human beings, we live for one thing on this earth, that's to feel good.
Of course.
We'll do anything that we can to feel good.
Yes.
Unfortunately, most people do the wrong thing to feel good.
I understand.
Then they feel good temporarily.
Right.
We're talking about drugs. We're talking about emotional drugs. Because it doesn't have to be just a liquid thing. You can be attached to codependency. So many different things in different areas that affect our life that really downgrade our life. Eustress is exciting. It's looking to the future, having a passion. For example, if you have a set of goals, you want a new Corvette or whatever, and you keep thinking of that, that is acute stress. It's eustress, acute stress. It's the thrill of thinking about what you're going to have. The problem is most people don't think about that the right way. They think about, well, I'm not going to be happy until I get this.
Oh boy, I had a conversation with somebody about that just recently, and I think it was one of the young men at Publix that was bringing my big old jug of water out, and I don't know how we got to talking about he was looking to meet someone, and he had it down pat. He's not looking for anybody to make himself happy. He knows he has to make himself happy, but when someone comes along, if they're the right person, they will join their happiness together. And that has been our belief system for many, many years. It's up to us to make ourselves happy. But I love what you say about the eustress. In fact, when we have that eustress, and you hear me say this all the time, I get so excited. I use up all this adrenaline, and I go, why am I so hungry? And you always say, it's because your brain cells, you've been using your brain cells. And that didn't happen until just in the last few years. Is that an age thing or what?
Well, the brain uses a third of the blood supplied to the brain.
Really, that much?
Oh, yeah, a quart of blood is what is absorbed by the brain.
Wow.
Constantly.
That's profound.
Yeah.
That is really profound.
And that's why it's so important to be able to oxygenate that blood. And how you oxygenate blood, the red cells, is through deep breathing, through Qigong, through relaxing. In fact, the Tibetan monks have 5 power factors, power principles that they live by. And they encompass breathing, movement, relaxation, and confidence, and then attitude. And those things make up the whole philosophy of those 5 things, make a big difference in their lifestyle.
You know, they do, and we have just a few seconds before our break, but to that point, as of just in the last, several months, we've been having many of our former students that have gone through the aging process, you know, the ones, and they are now wanting to get back into Tai Chi and Qigong because of how they used to feel. They either lost a husband or a wife. So what that tells you is the power of what you're talking about with Tai Chi and Qigong, and we'll talk a little bit more about that and how we need to learn how to adapt to stress that is really going to work out the best for each one of us individually. And it's not always the same, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi, Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Primetime TV. I'm Barbara Marvell Kelly, and with me is Dennis Kelly. We're talking about stress. And the reason why we talk about that so often is because we see so much of it out there that is unhandled, right? Would you say so? Agree with that?
It's getting worse, not better, because we're not genetically engineered to handle this kind of stress. Our mental capacity has gone faster than our emotional capacity. In other words, we evolved as human beings too fast in mental compared to the emotional.
That's true.
And most people do not handle that emotional part very well. There's so much emphasis put on IQ. The real emphasis should put on EQ, which is emotional intelligence.
Agreed.
There's several books written on it. It's wonderful reading material, too, because it gives us an opportunity to go beyond where we are stuck and say, oh, I'm only this intelligent, or I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I don't have the intelligence to be successful. People don't realize some of the world's smartest people are working for some of the world's dumbest.
Boy, that is really the truth. That is the truth. Well, you know, it's really interesting. Just before we took the break, we were talking about so many of your Tai Chi students that either left for whatever reason. Some people moved away and then they moved back here to Florida. They've had some health challenges. And as I said earlier, that a spouse may have passed away and they just got away from it, had to move, sell their house, or whatever it is. But they're now coming back to us more so than ever before. So that must tell me that there is more of a need for it, and ordering more of our DVDs so that they can be up to date with our up-to-date videos and our up-to-date information on healthy wellness, on optimal living. And handling stress is one of the biggest things that we have done. But what about the people? Okay, so the people that have never tried our Tai Chi or a Qigong, there's those people that maybe want to go down this path, or this path. So what we try to do is have a little something for those of you to choose from for the time constraints that people have. We have a number of people that would love to come to your classes that maybe live too far away. Well, then we have the classes that you can buy on demand on your website, dennis-kelly.com. But there's other ways to adapt to stress. Everyone is looking for the holy grail to anti-aging, right? And if they would only realize that when you handle stress, that's like one of our secrets, right?
You hit it right on the head. The one thing that if everybody would use the common sense and realize that when I'm upset, how I make decisions when I'm stressed out, those are going to be bad decisions. Because it's how you handle your life or your reaction to things or response to things, how you handle that has a lot to do with your future.
It does.
As far as what type of person you're going to develop into, how long you're going to live, and how healthy you're going to be.
And you know, to that point, we have friends, I'm sure you have friends, family, that are going through some healthy challenges, okay? And it's unfortunate. It just comes up. It seems like it happens overnight, which really it doesn't. It doesn't happen overnight unless a car accident or something like that. And it's very stressful for those loved ones that are watching them go through all this. And they say stress is the silent killer. I mean, people are walking around with high blood pressure and don't even know it. You know, then they get the symptoms or they end up in the middle of the night at the hospital for whatever reason. But some of my notes here on psychological and physiological stress affects the body at the cellular level, at which it can interfere with normal function. Stress reduces the efficiency and vitality of not only the cell itself, but also whatever organ that cell is in. Doesn't that make sense?
Absolutely. A lot of sense. You see, the challenge here lies in people not realizing they're being educated on this deal of the stress. There's many books, many tapes in it, but people don't seem to take the time. I'm talking about the average person doesn't take the time to review that.
It's true. It's true.
See, every single cell has thousands and thousands of little receptors. And the cell will tend to have these receptors geared to what is the end thing. so to speak. So what happens is when you're negative or when you're not handling stress right, then the cell would actually be more available to handle those. In other words, not to improve those things, but to draw more emotion out of the stress. So as a result, the more stress you have, the more negative you're thinking, the more negative things you're doing, have more receptors that are tuned into negative.
Yeah.
They'll track more negative.
And so what happens to those cells? What happens?
Those cells, it isn't so much the cells. Oh, the cells you're talking about. Yeah, the receptors. The cells, what happens is the telomere in the cell that holds the cell together unravels like a shoestring, the little plastic on the tip of a shoestring.
What happens then?
Then the cell dies prematurely.
That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, and by being aware of that, you can really control that. In fact, concentrate and focus on positive things, your goals, all the things that mean something to you. Concentrate on those areas. There's so many different techniques getting out of stress or getting out of the dilemmas of stress and the results of stress. All you have to do is use some common sense and study this. Read it. Get my book, if nothing else.
Well, you know, the thing is like you said about so many concept changes in a single day, in a single hour, for heaven's sakes, right? And a lot of people are so busy meeting themselves, coming and going, trying to make a living, trying to deal with the stresses, the news, the this, the that, the kids, the grandparents, the parents, or whatever it is, and it becomes a state of overwhelm. So sometimes we need help, right?
Right.
And you know, we're no different than anybody else. I mean, we've had stresses, we've had financial issues, we've had health issues, but what gets us through it is our attitude, our love, our appreciation, and our passion for what we are doing. Right here is part of our passion because we always wanted to have a platform to deliver the message. I call it our wellness missionary. This is our mission, is to have a strong foundation with God and learn as much as you can about the human body from people that you trust, people that give you validation. As I said when we started the show, and I'm saying this to set it up for the next half hour, the new you age. That's what we're about right now, right here, and you're the first to hear about it because we are passionate about it. When we hear of something and you get that aha moment and you think, I want to do this. This makes a lot of sense to me, right?
Absolutely.
My husband and I have been extremely successful in the years that we've been together, which is a little over 20, in doing exactly what we're doing here, but maybe not necessarily on a TV show, except for the Home Shopping Network, where you sold your book, you sold your DVDs, and of course, I sold just about anything you can think of for 15 years. And those skill sets brought us here today, and over the years helped us develop what do you need to put in a video. And of course, video is very, very prominent to get that message out and to educate you. So in the next segment, the next half hour, we're going to share with you what we've learned. We've been doing more research. My husband is, you have an eloquent way of saying what you are. My husband researches the researchers before we ever take any supplement, right?
Right.
Show us the features and benefits, right?
Right.
You got clinicals on it. You have before and after. We know all about that, and that's why we're excited about it.
I would like to relate to this. In other words, to describe what I believe I am and what other people see me as, I'm an eclectic of the eclectics.
You are.
In other words, if I was to try to accumulate the type of knowledge that I need to accumulate to really help other people get out of the stressful condition, I'd have to live to be 400 years old. Because there's so much. But by me researching the eclectics, the ones that did the research on different subjects, different things, I've saved hundreds of years.
That's right.
And not that I become a walking encyclopedia. I become a walking, positive, productive human being that anybody can be.
That's right.
I mean, a lot of people use their childhood as an excuse for failing. And you never really fail unless you stop trying.
That's right.
And if I told everybody what my childhood was completely like, I'd depress them for weeks.
Oh, that's for sure. And we're still working on getting your movie done to actually show all that. You will not believe it. You will not. And that's a really good point, because I know we just have a minute remaining, and I'll just say this and then we'll take a break. When we come back, we have more for you on our new you age, because we do have a new year coming up, 2019. Can you believe it? But it's true. Do some research, learn what you need to learn to really be empowering in every way, shape, and form in your life experience. You all have it in you. Trust me when I tell you. So get a little bit closer, get your favorite beverage, coffee, wine, a beer, whatever. Order your pizza. Stay with us, because this next half hour, we're going to give you just a little taste of the new you age, and I can't wait to do that. So we'll be right back after this. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi everyone, welcome back into Prime Time. Here we are back. We have about a half hour to go, and we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the things that we're very excited about, aren't we, hon?
Absolutely.
You know, we are really blessed because I saw this happening after I left home shopping. It'll be about 14 years ago. And we always wanted to have our own TV show. And here we are. Here we are, we're doing it. So I'm going to cut to the chase. I want to go back to, just in case you are tuning in for the first time, we were talking about stress being the health epidemic of the 21st century, and that was deemed by the World Health Organization. And we've been talking about how we can adapt to stress. And there's a number of different things that maybe you're already doing. We certainly are. We have a whole lifestyle of reducing stress, which is helping us live the best optimal life at 70 and 81, okay? But I just want to give you a little rundown real quickly. The damaging effects of chronic stress in the brain, it creates free radicals that kill brain cells. In the body, it lowers your immune system. So think about that. When you're stressed out, you lower your immune system. You're more subject to what? Disease, right?
Absolutely, disease. And many other things that go along with that.
Exactly. Chronic stress can make you forgetful and emotional. It causes weight gain. Oh, gotta love that. Creates a vicious cycle of fear and anxiety. Affects your blood pressure. It halts the production of new brain cells. So we're not only stressed and losing brain cells, but it won't even allow us to create new brain cells. Then you wonder why we're forgetful? Oh my goodness. Lowers bone density. Depletes critical brain chemicals causing depression, high cholesterol, greater risk for mental illnesses of all kinds, increases your risk of heart disease. Stress makes you stupid. Erectile dysfunction. Chronic stress shrinks your brain. And a risk of a heart attack. That's only one page here that I'm sharing with you. So what do we do?
You hit it right on the button when you said it shrinks the brain.
Yeah.
The average brain of a 20-year-old is 1,500 grams. Mm-hmm. The average brain of a senior that's been under stress a lot is 1,000 grams. It's shrunk about 30% by the time you reach your age 60, 65.
So there are things we can do about it. And in this last half hour, this is where we're really excited because we do have the power when we empower ourselves with knowledge that can make a difference in every single one of our lifestyles. Take a look around us with generation after generation, what's happening in the world today. It's up to those of us to set a really good example for our families and our children and grandchildren. We do have the power to unlock the healing power to achieve optimal health. We've been doing research now for what I'd say 3-4 months. Haven't said a word to anybody about what we've been doing, but we have found something that we feel really strongly about that can help us reduce the ravaging effects of stress, and it is called adaptogens. Adaptogens have been used for 2,500 years, and much of today's medical research actually confirms their healing power. How it can affect us? Well, we took adaptogens many years ago, but it wasn't anything like this particular product, and it's from a company called New Yugen. And you can see that we do have our little website up here where you can go and just sort of kick the tires and see what you think, and reach out to us if you would like any information whatsoever, because we're very excited about it. When you really stop to think about maybe a supplement that is affordable, right, that just might help you get to a higher level of calm and relaxation. I mean, just the words, and words are power, as you have said before. But it can help the central nervous system to enhance an intellectual performance, alertness, concentration, learning, and memory. And then it can also help you with the immune system. They increase the production of T cells, which help to fight bacteria, viruses, and cancer. The T cells. Talk to me about the T cells.
Well, the T cells, they have many different functions, but their main function is to keep our body in control health-wise. Mm-hmm. Just for example, the brain controls all the organs in the body, and the mind controls the brain. Mm-hmm. There's this thing called neuropeptides, or molecular messengers, that send messages to soldier cells that are in the bloodstream, in the lymphatic system. These soldier cells either fight or not fight on their war against disease, germs, and so on. That's why all disease has a psychosomatic component. It is related to how we think. And when you're thinking bad thoughts, negative thoughts, these soldier cells lay down their arms, say, heck with you. If you don't care enough about yourself, I'm not going to, I mean, metaphorically speaking.
No, but that's basically what happens.
It really is basically what does happen.
Sure.
But if you have the zest, a passion for something in life, and you dwell on that passion, on the art of improving every chance you can get, your circumstances, your environment, and everything else, it makes a big difference. You're telling then the soldier cells through the pathway, through the getting the T cells doing their job, basically makes a major difference in how long we live and how healthy we are. Because as soon as those soldier cells don't fight anymore, the telomeres let go over a shorter period of time than they're supposed to.
And that's the telomeres, like for lack of a better explanation, the nerve endings, it's like the end of a shoelace, right?
Yeah, it's like that little plastic thing on a shoelace, and if you take that off, the shoelace unravels. That's the same thing with a cell.
Same thing.
So you have, what do you have? Premature death. The nature finds diabolical ways of getting rid of us if we don't like what we got and appreciate what we are. That is so important. Having a good self-confidence in yourself, having a feeling of that you're always striving to be happier through making other people happy.
Right, and that is a really big passion of ours, is sharing what we've learned. So a little bit more of what we learned. Like I say, this is just a taste, sort of like an introduction. Next week, we're also going to be talking more. We have a very special guest that's going to be joining us, Rena Davis, who we've known for, my goodness, 20-some years. Amazing individual with credentials that are like off the charts. And she's going to go into each one of these adaptogens and how they may help you. Now, I just want to set the tone. We are not making any claims to cure anything whatsoever. Everybody does get different results. But imagine if you had a product that was easy to take and affordable, and they've done, you know what? The studies that have been done on this are incredibly amazing.
Hundreds of studies.
Oh, my goodness. The studies are amazing, and we'll go into that too. But it's all about the adaptogens, and we were talking about adapting to stress, right?
Right.
So if we could help ourselves, because even though we know how to deal with stress, we do have a day with, like plumbers have leaky pipes, right?
Well, also, stress spells backwards desserts.
Yeah, exactly.
If you spell stress backwards, it's called desserts.
It is.
So you can make stress your dessert. You become the master of your stress rather than stress become the master of you. Like the University of London School of Medicine.
Right.
They did the most extensive 20-year research on stress, damaging effects of stress, and they've come to the conclusion that unmanaging how you hold and conquer stress, in other words, if you don't, it has more of a danger bearing than if you were smoking or eating high cholesterol food. In other words, not handling stress is more dangerous to you than smoking or eating high cholesterol foods, which I don't recommend, but it's not as bad as not handling stress. How do you handle it? You handle stress by finding ways that you can train yourself to respond rather than react.
Thank you for that. Exactly. And attitude is everything. Perception is everything. I mean, there's just a whole host of, a list that goes forever about stress. And if you stop to think and wonder if you're stressed, well, think how a day goes for yourself. And that's why we're here, is to help you. We've done a lot of the homework for you. Believe me, this is all we do. And before I ever met you, for 30, 40 years, you've done the research. You come to our home, you will see nothing but wall-to-wall research that my husband has done, read, videoed, whatever. But I'm sure you're probably asking what are adaptogens, right? Well, they can help adapt us to a lifestyle that is going to be more pleasing and more positive. So I have a definition, okay? I'm going to just read it word for word, which adaptogens are a unique group of healing plants that have been used for thousands of years to help balance, restore, and protect the body. That is powerful. They do not force the body into any particular direction, but instead they assist the body's own balancing and healing mechanisms. We like to say, when we do research on products and we see that there's clinical studies, there's documented proof, okay, we like to say that it helps your body set your own body up to be the healing miracle. We are miracles.
The body is the best pharmaceutical factory in the world.
Yes.
And it's disease that cannot live in a mind that is full of positive thinking, positive feeling. Disease can't stand to live in a body like that.
Exactly. Another little note I want to say, and you jump in there anytime, because I know I'm going to trigger. I'm going to trigger you with some words that you know all about. The definition of adaptogen contains 3 criteria. It is safe to use in all proportions. It helps to restore homeostasis, the middle ground between exhaustion and overstimulation. And it works in non-specific ways, meaning it contains so many biologically active substances to use for so many body processes that each adaptogen assists several of the body's organs and systems. We only have a few seconds remaining. I know you're just itching to talk about homeostasis, aren't you? We're going to come back after the break and talk a little bit more of this amazing product and how we may just be able to give you an alternative to stress. We'll be right back. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. And we're back, everyone. Welcome into Primetime TV. Aren't you excited? I'm so excited.
That's exciting.
So just before the break, we were talking about homeostasis. And I know you want to get up on the soapbox and talk about that real quick.
Well, the main thing, realizing that we all have an immune system, and the key is to make that immune system strong. Homeostasis is the ability to bounce back. Whenever you get a serious illness, or you get an illness that could be serious, it's what your mental attitude plus what you're taking physically, mentally, and emotionally has such a bearing on how we're going to survive. Just for example, I'm overcoming Parkinson's disease.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
recovering from Parkinson's disease. I still have some of the ill effects, but because I've taken care of myself, because I understand how the body and mind and emotions work, I've been able to stay and do all the things that I naturally would do before. And nothing has hampered me since, because of the fact that I follow this path, and I believe I honestly will overcome this.
Well, and it goes back to your belief system and really taking care of yourself. And, you know, I went down on that dance floor, it'll be almost 3 months, and I'm trying to avoid surgery with a torn meniscus, and I'm just following that path, you know, doing what I feel I should be doing, you know. And again, I just want to make sure you understand we're not making any claims to cure anything at all or diagnose anything. Of course, we always say check with your doctor, but we're just sharing our story and how we feel about what we've done in our lives and how we've helped a lot of people, right?
Absolutely. And surrounding yourself with people that when you leave their presence, you feel better about yourself. And the same thing with your friends. When they leave your presence, how do your friends feel about themselves after leaving your presence?
I love when you say that.
Why is that important? Because all those things lead up to our immune system.
Yes.
The soldier cells are fighting or not fighting.
Exactly.
How do you want to arm your soldier cells?
And you know, up until now, if you haven't had a plan for reducing your stress, handling it, maybe we can offer something that just may help. So when ancient wisdom going back thousands of years and modern science comes together, it's a really great formula, and that's what New Yugen is all about. New Yugen means the new generation.
It is the atom bomb of defense.
Yeah,
You're talking about
that's
soldier
good.
cells. Nutrigen is the atom bomb
Yeah.
using to kill the enemy, which is disease.
It's exciting
And all
to
the things related to disease.
Yeah, it's exciting to be able to offer this just in a little low dose of information, kind of like a sneak peek, because I know we're running out of time. But when you stop and think about 70 years of testing and validation, more than 3,000 clinical trials and millions of dollars spent in going into the research of these adaptogens. And, excuse me, what we're going to have next week is Rena Davis is going to be coming on board, and she's on our team, and we've known Rena for many, many years. Rena, if you're out there, we love you. We can't wait to see you on the show next week. We're going to Zoom her in remotely, and if you reach out to us, we can give you even more information between now and then if you want to see what these products are about and see what they may do to help you reduce your stress. We'd love to do that for you. In fact, there's some videos, little webinars that Rena has done too. She's actually gone through every single one of the adaptogens that are in these products. I just want to show you something real quickly. This is my book with all of our secrets. See there? That's our company, Defy Aging Inc. And this is where I put all my secret goodies for, hey, living savvy at 70, huh? Right? Okay. So let me just give you one of the adaptogens, which is a natural plant antioxidant in Solera. Combating stress, right? It stimulates your mental work ability, increases resistance to heat and cold. This is the king. I probably can't even say this, so Rena, you're going to help me with this next week. It's the king of adaptogens, Eleutherococcus or something like that. Sorry.
Coccus.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, you would know that. But it's resistant to infections, resistant to tumor formation, improves eyesight, color and clarity, improves clarity of hearing. Right? Another one is Viburnum sargentum. tea, a natural plant antioxidant, high amount of vitamin and complex organic acid, stress protective benefits, reduces the toxicity of alcohol, recommended as a food supplement for stress management, chronic fatigue syndrome, and for dysfunctions under conditions of rapidly changing environmental and climatic and social conditions. Hello.
I would call that one the hydrogen bomb.
Oh my goodness. It aids in preventing seasonal diseases such as colds, influenza, slows the degenerative process of aging. That is just two. And I have this whole book of all these wonderful adaptable herbs that we are so thrilled with. But wait. There's more, as they say on TV. We have a couple of these products, and the other one is the Solera blend that has CBD. So I am going to save all that information for you for next week with Rena Davis. But this is one of the things that we, like I say, we've been keeping it under the hat, right? And waiting for just the right time to do a little sneak peek, to bring the new you age out, because, you know, and people wait till the first of the year, they set their tone for the new year. They make their New Year's resolutions, and always, I mean, all the health clubs, which you were a director of at one time, didn't you start the new year with all your clients? Okay, we're going to start all over again.
Absolutely.
Or continue where we went on. Knowing you, it was continue where you started successfully.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. We made a whole big thing about having a goal.
Yeah.
Having many goals.
That's right.
And living up to making those goals.
And some of the goals are just really sitting down and taking time for yourself. If you tried this and that, and potions and pills and creams and this, there's a plethora of products out there, and we have people coming to us constantly. First of all, after being a host for the Home Shopping Network for 15 years, and you as well being who you have been all these years, and helping people with their fitness program, and being a 6-time world champion, you could not ever take any kind of products that if you were tested, that you'd be thrown out of the game, right? So you'd have to take products that you felt comfortable with. So that is ingrained in our brains.
You know, I do spend a lot of time researching a product before I take it.
Yeah.
I would never put anything in anybody's mouth or encourage somebody to put something in their mouth that I haven't taken myself and done my due diligence. Because there's no guarantee in this world.
No.
Everybody's a little bit different. Somebody could fall death with an aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way they claim Bruce Lee, the famous martial artist, died because he had a reaction to Excedrin.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's not proven, but that's a theory. And doctors have made that theory seem alive.
Right. And you know what? Every product isn't necessarily right for every person, like you're saying. But the one big thing as we close our show is you'll know if you live a heart-empowered life, which is what we teach and coach on. Our hearts told us when we heard about these, and knowing the people that are involved that we've known for over 20 years, never steering us wrong, and of course we hover, we don't jump right into anything at all until we do the research. I have several people asking us to get involved with some products out there, and you know, I always want to give people the respect to say, okay, these are my questions that I have for you. Can you answer these questions? And sounds like a great product maybe, but unless that criteria, it doesn't resonate with me, I can't move forward with it. These products do, and you just have to tune in next week and tell everybody you know. You know, we're coming upon Thanksgiving, the holidays, and I think you've given some facts about the holidays and the stresses.
There's more stress during Christmas time than any other stressful holiday.
Yeah. So we got a jump start for you guys. I'm happy about it.
I'm happy about it too.
I just found out that I'm having Thanksgiving. So but it didn't stress me out. Eustress. I got the eustress. My grandson, my family's going to be here, so I'm good. I'm real good. It'll be crazy. You know what it's like at our house.
Oh, yeah.
We got dogs running everywhere, kids crazy, and it's all good.
It's still not chronic stress because it's over with. You know, when you sum it up, would you rather be chased by a tiger or would you rather be late for work? You know, actually, you might be better off being late for work because when you're chased by a tiger, it's over with. Either you get him or he gets you. It's over with. There's no prolonged stress. But when you're dealing with stress of a factor that you have no knowledge of how to handle it, then the problem is you become the subject to that manner. True.
That's very true.
Like, for example, two people at Disney World, it's what mountain? There's a mountain there, like it's like a roller coaster. I'm trying to remember the name of
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain, there you go. Because I've never been there, but I remember it. If we're up on Space Mountain and I'm sitting in the like a roller coaster with somebody that loves to do that, they would be putting out a lot of good hormones. Yeah. But if I am petrified of a roller coaster.
Me too.
I would be releasing a hormone called interleukin-2.
It's different. It's whole different. We're running out of time, and we're going to have to pick up with this next week. So if you want to know more information about it, give me a jingle, 727-798-8081, or just go to our Facebook pages and check in with Primetime TV if you have any questions whatsoever. Private message. We'll see you back next week. Rena Davis will be here. More on Primetime.